Hey guys, we're back again with the round 3 of the Sqaure tournament. I decided to bring my Tapu Lele team again, no need to change it when it's doing so well. Excuse me. My opponent brought this really interesting Pelipper team. Um, yeah, that's a really unique team. Now that I think about it, it has it has 6 months that you generally don't see together. Well, I mean, I guess the only thing that sticks out is Pelipper without a Rain Abuser, but it's still pretty cool. So I lead off with my Mantine because it does well against Mimikyu to an extent, Marowak to an extent, Excadrill, and Pelipper. Pelipper being the mon that I fear the most. The reason why it does well against Excadrill is because he doesn't have a spinner, so that has to be a spinner. And as he's rocks, that means his other two moves should be Iron Head and Earthquake. Get a Scald, that's definitely specially defensive with lefties, and that does 37, which is pitiful damage. I defog over here on his Rotom, which is nice because I don't want rocks on my field in this game because it's just quite annoying. It chips away a bit too much. He goes into his Rotom. I Baton Pass over here straight into my Tapu Lele because this gives me a free Psychic. And he goes into his Excadrill and that takes nothing. 25% is nothing after Lefty's recovery. So I go back into my Mantine. He goes for Iron Head. Solid play. Like, there's no reason messing around with that threat. He goes back out into his Rotom, Scald again. Now, I wish I could get a burn, like the last game, but it's whatever. Thunderbolt does 11, and it continuously does 11 because of the burn. And again, I think I Baton Pass over here. Yeah, the reason why I'm not setting up and I'm Baton Passing is because it gives me a lot of momentum that way. And over here, I made a bit of an aggressive play by going for a U-turn instead of Earthquaking, and he predicts that, stays in, sets up his rocks. I go into my Sqaure because that gives me another U-turn, and whatever switches in. Luckily, I get a crit, and it does 61% on the Venusaur, and this gives me another free Psychic. And at this point, he just decides that, you know what, I'll sack my Venusaur, it's not doing much, and gives him a free Mimikyu. Mimikyu is scary at times, if you're unprepared for it. And he sets up Swords Dance, which is terrifying, because he goes for another one. Earthquake breaks the sub. I didn't want to U-turn, because the reason why I didn't want to U-turn is because Psychic Terrain is still up, so even if I went into Sqaure and I couldn't Bullet Punch him, it'd be a waste of a turn. And I know Lando can take a hit pretty easily, and it gets Rock Chip damage.
Now that's what I call music. 61 is here.
Yeah, you guys got that?
22
That's
songs,
right.
including today's biggest hits from Bruno Mars,
Yeah.
Ariana Grande featuring Nicki Minaj,
Yeah, I should get back to
The
the game.
Weeknd featuring Daft
Anyways, so the Bullet Punch picks off Mimikyu because Mimikyu is really frail. And he goes into his Marowak, which is quite scary. I have to go to my Landorus to get the Intimidate off. He goes for Earthquake, which is an interesting play because I guess like he predicted me predicting a fire move and going into Heatran. He goes into his Rotom. I Earthquake again because I needed Marowak weakened because Landorus was at such low health. Didn't really have an option. And I hard switch into my Decidueye, and he goes for Hydro Pump, which does 14. Nice. And at this point, Decidueye was getting a bit weakened, so I roost up, I believe. Yeah. But luckily, two of his mons were getting weakened. This Excadrill was turning out to be quite annoying, because other than Landorus' Earthquake and potentially Heatran's Magma Storm, Mantine wasn't really doing that much damage to it, and I want to get a Skull Burn on it, so I could sort of stop the lefty's recovery. But he makes a smart play preventing that by going into his Rotom Wash, and I still don't get the burn, but, 30% chance. I'm going to Decidueye, Thunderbolt does 12, and god, it takes so long with all the burns and lefties. A nasty plot over here, uh, I don't really know why I nasty plotted over there. I guess like one reason was maybe his Rotom Stadium, but that was very unlikely. I should have Baton Pass to keep the momentum up. And he Shadow Bones, which is a completely fair play because I don't really have a good Shadow Bone switching. Alright, so the reason I go into Sqaure is because I wanted to get a bit of chip damage on. Sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, the reason why I go into Sqaure is because he doesn't know my entire Sqaure set, right? And he might be fearing the knockoff or Brutal Swing, but I don't think you run Brutal Swing. I think it's knockoff. Yeah, pretty sure. But either ways, basically, the reason why I'm going to Sqaure, the other reason is because Sqaure doesn't do anything against his Excadrill, Pelipper, or Rotom. So if I could get Pursuit chip damage on Marowak, it would turn out to be really. It turns out to be really helpful later on. So he goes out into his Excadrill, goes back into his Marowak hard, and I can U-turn now. And now the best part is that Heatran easily kills this off, but because Marowak has been weakened, Tapu Lele Psychic can also pick it off, so that gives me two options. I Earth Power, Marowak dies, and Heatran now looks to be in a very good position outside of his Pelipper, for which I have to go hard into Mantine. And he's Ceres, I have Water Absorb, get back to full health. I Toxic over here because it made no sense for him to go hard into Excadrill on a rain boosted Scald, and Rotom was his most obvious choice. And even if Pelipper stayed in, Toxic was nice. And Decidueye for every Rotom. Will-O-Wisp doesn't do much. I'm there at 83%. And I believe I Baton Pass, yeah. A Baton Pass over there, going to Mantine. And he U-turns. Fair play. Keeps some momentum on his side. He goes in Excadrill, which is interesting. I Toxic, so it works out for him. And now that the rain is gone, it's like 37 is not that great for Scald damage on an Excadrill from Mantine. And he Iron Heads, I Defog, and it goes on for a bit. The Iron Head, Defog, Scald, this entire thing. So I go for Scald again because I know he lives one, so even if he sets up rocks, I can Defog. I get another crit. Wow, I'm getting so many crits this game. It's nice. He Iron Heads again. I flinch, but that's to be expected. Eventually I would flinch. Iron Heads again. And over here I Defog because I thought that he would get up his rocks as a last ditch effort, but I guess I should have Scalded because he just keeps on going for Iron Head. I Roost up because Mantine was getting a bit too weak and I needed it healthy for the Pelipper. And with this last Iron Head, that was the last time you'd see Excadrill in this game because it dropped to the last Scald. That was a lot of loss. Either ways, Rotom comes in, he doubles out into his Pelipper, which is a solid play because now he gets a bit of momentum against my Decidueye, but doesn't mount so much because Mantine can take on Pelipper for a really long time. I just Roost up continuously. If you confused me over there, that would have been bad. Yeah, that would have been quite bad. But yeah, he decides that, you know, there's no point continuing this game. It was a really cool team on his part, but luckily I ended up winning the game, and see you guys in the finals. This was the semi-finals, by the way, and the finals is a best of 3, so that'll be a bit more interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.